What's up, everybody? We're back. It's been a minute. I've been in Columbus all week. Stephen Cheah and Kelly have been hitting fantastic parlays. What, Kelly, yours was 19-1?
Yeah, not too shabby. I'll take it after the crappy week and a half I had prior to that. Still didn't make up enough ground with it, but it just made that Sunday so much better to go 3-1. Sometimes you just need to see the ball go through the hoop. And I liked all three dogs. And I was like, you know what? Let me just do a little sprinkle on all the money lines and then do a little parlay. It was rough. I'm not going to lie. You guys, I was pretty unhinged on Thursday after the bracket buskers. And it just kind of, and I was, mind you, I was stone sober. A lot of people are like, she's wasted at like 9 a.m. No, I was not. I was just going through the feelings of how frustrated I was with the cold streak in college basketball. But we turned it around. That's all that matters.
And I'm, pat myself on the back. I've been putting out like 2 to 3 college basketball parlays a week. We've been like so close as far. We've hit 2 legs and then we'll come down and lose the last, like not cover the last one by 2-3 buckets. But I hit 2 while I was in Columbus. I hit a plus 420 tight parlay. And then I hit one last night that was plus 300, which I'm not going to lie, I was so exhausted from being in Ohio all week. And then, I got to come home, see the fam, kind of decompress a little bit. And I completely passed out during that TCU game, which I saw.
So you missed the greatest cover of all time, Megan?
I've watched that 47 times this morning. Cheah, did you catch that?
Yeah, of course. Rolling the ball down, hitting the.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Have you been watching much of the tourney, or are we just?
I have been. Yeah, I've been prioritizing NBA, but I've been watching a lot of college basketball, just a lot of hoops in general. I put out 3 props over 3 college basketball. We've been heating up with NBA.
Heating up. You did. I mean, I know you hit one, and you said you're tempted to go back to back. Did you hit to play the same play again? Did you play it?
Unfortunately, I did, and it was the 5th leg of a 76-1 ticket that all cashed before it. So very, very tough.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Up too, as far as time windows, and I didn't have a cash out option because the games were at the same time, and I would have cashed out. But
I will say, that's I wouldn't have brought that up if I knew that happened. That's probably still a very open
all-time bad beat. One guy actually took that parlay and added in my daily play yesterday that won, and it was 141-1, and it collapsed in the final window.
That has to be one of the all-time worst bad beats ever. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into we've already. I mean, I'm sure everyone's kind of caught up on March Madness as far as what has happened up until this point. We've had a lot of upsets. I don't think anyone, maybe I'm wrong, had Princeton going to the Sweet 16. That's pretty insane. Obviously, FAU still there. They're hanging around. My bracket's completely busted. Because Baylor and TCU decided to crap out. I mean, TCU with that cover last night was fantastic, and I was able to hit my parlay, which bets over brackets. You've tweeted that last week, Kelly, and that 100% is true because I also have 4 other brackets, so it doesn't matter. And one of them, I got one with a Final Four still alive, so that's pretty exciting. Cheah, I want to know, did you do a bracket this year? You had to, right?
I did. I do one. I'm a Mike and Mike sheet of integrity guy. Just one bracket because that's the focus. I honestly don't follow much. I had Arizona in the Final Four, so once that happened, I was like, all right, I'm toast.
Yeah, the Flying Blattmans definitely shit their pants.
Megan,
I told Blattman he is not allowed to tweet that Arizona has a game tonight for at least 1 year. I saw those tweets every time they came up.
Every day.
Horrible.
Every day.
And this team gets bounced in the first round by 15.
It was not ideal. Not ideal. Kelly, before we move on, what was your obviously most surprising or what was your worst beat? Because I mean, obviously there were a couple of days, there's a stretch there where I know both of us just were wanting to maybe turn the TV off and go crawl into a fetal position. But
I would have to say it was West Virginia. And that's why I think I was so just distraught. Not only had I had a bad, I think it was 8 or 9 days at that point in time previously. I then have West Virginia. I'm in the kitchen. I'm getting a glass of water. It's breakfast time, And Brett walks in and he goes, "What's the West Virginia score?" And I go, "Oh, they're up 16-4. And it just went downhill after that. Like when you have a 12-point lead, yes, albeit early on, yes, college basketball is a game of runs. You start to feel pretty good. You're just like, all right, well, I'm having a great morning. And then it just crashes and burns. I ended up, I think, going 3-4 that day.
Auburn was like, they were up, I think, like 18 first half. And that
versus Houston.
Yeah,
that's pretty gross. Luckily did not have that one. I would have vomited.
No, I told Big Ev he had a parlay. It was Arkansas and Alabama to win plus 750. And we were like, we were feeling hot because like he had tailed my parlay the day before, which was the 420 parlay. And so I decided to tail his, and I might have been the mush there, but I feel like Auburn couldn't get out of their own way. Also, these rims have been so funky. Like I heard like someone said that like 3% 3-point shooting is only at like 20 or 30.
Well, did you watch the K-State Kentucky game? It was just like clank, clank, clank. I think it was like I already had so much like. And I'm not an anxious person traditionally, but I was just so like sweaty and just and every time I heard that, I was like cringing. I was like, please just make it 3 or stop even trying. This is so much pain.
It was March Madness is something else.
It's the worst and the best thing ever. Saturday morning, I woke up to a bunch of like missed FaceTimes from some of my friends in Vegas and some of my friends that went to a casino in New York. And I'm like, yes, I am so happy to be in my bed, not hungover, not broke, not all of these things that traditionally come along with March Madness. And then I think it carried over. I think it's like one of those like mindsets. Like when you're seeing the board clearly, and Cheah can attest to this, you just feel so much better going into the next day.
You do, and that's what like I felt really good going into day one. And no, I take that back. I think it was day 2. I felt really good going in with Duke, but then everyone in the entire casino and then the entire world and everyone was on Duke. And then I internally knew, like, and that's what, like, me and PFT were talking, and he was like, I'm a sneaky mouse. We're going to go in, we're going to grab the cheese, and we're going to get out. And it's like, that's not the way it works. Like, that was peanut butter, and it was stuck, and we got our heads chopped off in that game.
We got our heads chopped off.
It was, there was a couple really just heart-wrenching losses. Kelly, I'm so glad that your Wildcats are still in there. I thought it was crazy. We had all Cats playing at one time. It was Princeton Tigers, Missouri Tigers, Auburn Tigers. It was your Wildcats and Kentucky, I think, Wildcats.
Yeah.
So it was all cat day, girls' day.
I missed that.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into early lines real quick for the tourney, the big tourney. Up first, Kelly, we got Tom Izzo versus K-State. Are you a little bit worried right now? Because obviously, like, this team, in my opinion, Michigan State, the Big Ten, it's one that I've avoided all year because they've just been losers. They've been boring games. And then all of a sudden, this team is emerging just the way that, Izzo wants them to right during March. And, obviously K-State played a really, really tough game, a very physical game. Are you a little nervous going into this matchup? I mean, obviously you're nervous because it is your team, it's your alumni. But as far as a betting perspective, are you nervous?
Megan, this team has broken my heart. Not this team, but Kansas State has broken my heart my entire life. So to say nervous, no. But I think being realistic when you're a fan is very important. Cheah, take notes. Just kidding. I love Cheah, but he knows his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He knows that's the beauty. You know your team's strengths and you know your team's weaknesses. I tend to have a more negative outlook and I focus on the weaknesses. If you guys saw my tweet Friday night, I think it was. It was Friday that I was saying, hey, like, here's how K-State can beat Kentucky. Here's how they're going to lose. And that's exactly what I did last night with this team. Now, I will say this, and this is a caveat, and I asked Rico to retweet it, to tweet it because he put it on Instagram. It was on Pick Central today. Brandon and him and I forget who else were talking. And he basically called out Coach Calipari and said, you know what? You were in between car commercials. Somebody handed you a note card. You didn't game plan. And that's why you didn't know Marquise Noel's name. That scares me because Tom Izzo does not do that. Tom Izzo knows exactly who he's playing. And that really concerns me because we've got two guys there.
He's on the prep, right? I mean, like, that's kind of super scary.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 5 days.
It's a business week.
That's the real concern, right? because K-State flew back home from Greensboro. They're in Manhattan right now. I'm assuming Michigan State is back in East Lansing, but having that little bit of extra prep time is concerning. And then also now knowing what all of the Big 12 has known all year. I mean, Marquise Noel is 5'8", Megan, and that's on the depth chart. So he may actually be 5'7". That being said,
it's definitely like a 5.
It is for concern. I will say this. There have been 3 guys actually that have stepped up that were just kind of there. And that's not the nicest way to put it. They were just there, right? They had hit some shots during the Big 12 season, but over the last 2 games, Desi Sills has been electric. And I tweeted this yesterday. I said, please, I appreciate you playing hard, but like, we need you, bro. And what did he do? He hit the ground so hard. He, ended up busting up his ankle and was out for like 10 minutes. But I like that about him, because when you have guys that are willing to fight for every possession, and you have guys that are able to hit those shots or be so selfless, you don't even attempt a shot. You're there for assists, you're there for steals, you're there for defense. And that's the kind of thing that I'm looking at here with this Wildcats team. They have a deep bench. And as long as a couple of those main guys, Noel, Keontae, don't foul out, I think this is going to be a really good game, Megan. Bottom line, I made the game K-State -1. I think so did Ken Palm. K-State, as I've said all year, their Achilles heel is turning the ball over. Well, guess what Michigan State doesn't do? They don't capitalize off turnovers.
Right.
That's the good news. Now, again, K-State's going to want to run fast. Michigan State's going to want to run slow. K-State actually probably got some really good rebounding practice against Tshiebwe, which is really good news, because Michigan State doesn't get boards either. And forcing K-State to actually have to try to rebound the ball against a guy that's 7 foot tall could be a detriment, or could be an attribute, instead of a detriment this time. I'm going to give a slight lean to if K-State gets higher than 2.
That's what I was just about to
Cheah, that one was for you. I'm glad I at least got a smile out of you. I feel like I haven't shut up for 3 minutes.
Careful.
But I'm going to give a head nod to Kansas State here and the points. I do think this is going to be a knockout, drag out.
Do you think it moves, though? Do you think we get 2.5 or even 3?
I think we might. It opened -1.
So
it opened to Barstool. Barstool Sportsbook was the only world opener open -2. And I thought, oh boy, if I'm going to bet this, I better bet it now. And I kept looking. I said, I'm going to wait. And this morning it's +2 on the other side. So we'll see. I do think it could get bet up more. I'm not going to say there's going to be a public or a sharp side necessarily. I think there's going to be better games out there to bet. Now I'm going to be there. I have a Sweet 16 ticket in pocket. I have an Elite 8 ticket in pocket. And then me and my girlfriend each threw $100 on K-State to win the Natty back in January. So we'll see. There's probably no reason for me to bet this game.
All right, Cheah, just to get you involved in the conversation a little bit, have you been looking at any player props in the college basketball world, just out of curiosity? I mean, you do just absolutely kill them in the NBA, so I figured why not just take it down a couple of ages and a few years, and, have you decided to play any?
I had some good success last year, Sweet 16 and on. I played 3 so far in the opening rounds, and I've gone 0 for 3, all very close. But I think that the more recent data, especially tournament data, which I would weigh over any regular season or even conference tournament stuff, is going to be a little more relevant. So I'll have some of those coming up in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, Final Four.
Love
sure. Not finalized yet, but yes, certainly that stuff coming. What I am looking forward to seeing is UCLA Gonzaga. And I don't know this offhand, has Gus Johnson been calling the games? Because I need him on that game as a repeat of the 2006 game when they played in the Sweet 16 with Adam Morrison.
I don't know, because there was like 17 games on and the audio kept switching between. That's a question that my scrambled brain could not handle right now. All right, let's move on really quick. We'll go through these. So Arkansas, UConn, first glance, I kind of like UConn just because of how big they are and how much they've stretched it out second halves. But man, this Arkansas team has absolutely no quit. Musselman has everyone hyped. He has the entire thing. They're playing photos like this. It seems like the juices are really flowing for this Arkansas team. I know they had to fight back desperately that last game to win by 1 point. That was a crazy win for everybody that was there because we were all in Arkansas. But opening line, I'm going to go ahead and say that I like Arkansas, and I'll probably end up having a parlay of some kind that day, I would assume. I usually do them on Wednesdays, so maybe not. Maybe that's a different day. But I think I'm going to – my head's telling me UConn, but my gut's telling me Arkansas. And that's when I can say that I probably will either play something live or stay away.
Yep. You nailed it, Megan. This is a total spot. If you like UConn, I think you're already late to the party. You missed the opening number of 3.5. Arkansas, hard fought game over KU. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for that win. UConn, man, Dan Hurley made some great second half adjustments. That was my one loser yesterday, Megan. St. Mary's was the one down 1.5, and I'm like,
you saw Minty tried to clown me? That worked out great, huh? He said, I'm taking St. Mary's -4 because my only analysis is that Megan's on UConn. And I was like, okay, I have them on the money line and in a parlay that we want people to bet. So that's important. And also, UConn fucking smoked. So then I retweeted
They did. The second half was a great performance. I don't think I really want to get involved in that game, but I could see if UConn was down at half, me wanting to get involved with UConn's second half.
All right, let's keep moving. I feel like, if we're going to be honest, that Florida Atlantic might be getting a little overvalued here.
Yep.
All right, glad we're all in agreement on there. We don't have to talk much about that more. Looks like you and I will both right now look like. Have you already?
How about this, Megan? I already bet Tennessee.
Okay, you already
bet Tennessee. I'll be honest with you. We were talking about it last night. A big group of us. I think FAU's runs kind of come to the end. Being 16-point favorites yesterday to FDU was downright disrespectful, as we saw on the line. I'm really glad I didn't bet it.
Anybody see that meme?
Maybe they didn't care. But, we're just playing a 16 seed, and they overlooked them. Maybe we get a dogfight from them out of Tennessee. I think Rick Barnes, while he frustrates the shit out of me in March, I'm going to give him one more game, and hopefully K-State will get to play them on Saturday.
Did y'all see that meme, though? It was like fairly Dickinson, barely Dickinson, or like hardly Dickinson, and then extremely Dickinson. It made me laugh, really. I don't know, just silly goofy. All right, move on real quick. Zags, UCLA. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to be on Gonzaga. I think that this is the right side. I think UCLA is just maybe a little too trendy right now. Like they look good and they're so athletic and they're gelling well. But I mean, Timmy looks like the best player out right now. And if I'm getting points with the Zags, when do you ever get points with Gonzaga?
That's what scares me, Megan. Listen, I was against them last night with TCU. TCU hung in there and then they were just getting beat on the boards. Drew Timme just got hot. I think it was like another woman in the industry tweeted he looks like he's 50 years old. I'm like, first of all, he might look like he's 30 years old, but everybody pumped the fucking brakes here. He doesn't look that old.
It's the mustache.
Is it? I mean, okay, so fine. See, we add 5 years for a mustache, whatever. Listen, they've been hot, but I don't know, man. UCLA, Mick Cronin. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to end up staying away, Megan.
We'll play something live.
Slight lean to UCLA here.
All right. Again, real quick, because I really want to get to NBA because I'm dying to know what Cheah is bet for the day. San Diego State, Alabama. Alabama is laying 7.5, and I think that they are deserving to do that. I think San Diego State has played kind of out of their box. Maybe I'm wrong because I haven't watched a whole lot of San Diego State this year. But I either think that, and again, I think Rico said this earlier on Pick Central, or Ev said, someone said either it's going to be a super close game or Alabama's going to blow them out. And I truly think that that's probably what's happening, and I think it's going to be the latter.
Am I the only one that thinks San Diego State's going to beat them like A&M, Oklahoma, or Tennessee did?
No, I just don't. I feel like
I know they're playing really good ball right now, Megan, but they turn the ball over a lot. They're almost as bad as K-State in that fact. San Diego State's defense is going to really capitalize on that. And what do they do best? One of the best teams in the country, shutting down the three ball. We're going to see how this ends up playing out. I'm going to be on San Diego State. I was going to take the +7. And I said, you know what? Jeff Tex did a show with me on Sunday on Spaces. And he's like, I'm going to take San Diego State now. And I'm like, I think I'm going to wait. I only see this going one way. And that is the whole world being on Alabama. I will say this. I don't want to sound biased, but I do still have SDSU and K-State left in my Calcutta. So maybe I am a little biased there with San Diego State, but I have watched.
You're 100% biased.
I have watched Mountain West basketball all year. Take San Jose State tonight. You're welcome in advance. Mountain West basketball sucks, except for San Diego State.
All right, Miami, Houston. I have a Final Four ticket with this Miami team. I also have a natty ticket with this Miami team. Also, a future that I don't think you thought was going to still be left. Throw the X's up. I am very nervous about the Texas game.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that. But yeah, that's Miami, Houston. Houston's laying 6.5. They looked a little squeaky last time out, and then they came out a second half and just started to shut down. Who were they playing? Hold on, give it to me. Hold on.
Auburn.
Oh, that's who it was. Shut down Auburn.
You were just
I wanted to block that. No, I wanted to block that one out of my brain. That was like that one was an intentional flush that I needed you to bring back for me. I do like Miami here. I'm taking them with plus a 6.5. I'm going to keep rolling with this team. Houston could absolutely wash Miami, but I think the guard play within the tournament has been extremely important, and Miami has great guard play. And yeah, I like Miami plus a 6.5 here. What do you like?
Nothing. I'm not touching this freaking game whatsoever. I like Miami a lot, but I think they may be outmatched here versus Houston. Miami looked really good. They got the outright W for me yesterday against Indiana. That line did not make any sense to me whatsoever, Megan. This offense is really good. I mentioned that Norchad was going to be back. I texted that to you. He came back versus Drake. They pulled away there at the end. They pulled away versus Indiana there. Isaiah Wong, Nigel Pack. Could you imagine if Nigel Pack was still in K-State? Sorry, I can't get it out of my brain how amazing it would be. I do like this Miami team, but I think this is the end of the road for them.
All right, speaking of end of the roads, no one predicted Princeton to be here. Princeton, Creighton. Creighton is laying 9.5. I mean, that's a lot of points, but at this point, I like that kind of transition there. At this point, do you think Princeton has enough gas left in the tank? I don't know. This Creighton team did 27 out of 28 free throws. Like, they are a team that closes and makes their free throws. And, you know, Princeton, again, this is the Cinderella of this year, correct? Or is it FAU? Is it, which one would you consider that?
I would say it's Princeton because they're a 15 seed.
Yeah, and I mean, Ivy League basketball is just the most unpredictable shit in the world. So it's like, this is the most unpredictable shit in the world. Where are you taking in that game, Kel?
I am not. I'm going to cheer for Princeton because I want to see some more chaos. But you're right. This could be where the rubber meets the road. I have been wrong on the Big East all season long. I did take Creighton yesterday versus Baylor. Thank God they ended up getting a nice win there. Creighton has really come to form. Greg McDermott's done an awesome job. I do not know enough about this Princeton team outside of watching 2 whole basketball games so far against Arizona and Missouri to really sit here and be able to handicap that one. You know who I will ask? I'll ask our good friend Adam Trigger, because he was the one that gave me Princeton the other day when I said, hey, I need a third outright underdog winner. And it came to fruition. And so I was very happy with that one. But Megan, I know we got to get to NBA, but we got to do our ad read. We have a sponsor.
Oh, of course we have a sponsor. And we'll get to that. I meant to get to that right off top.
Do you want to do it or you want me to do it?
Oh, I mean, I have it up. Today's show is brought to you by nobody other than the Barstool Sportsbook. Nobody cares about your bracket, and that's why you need to download the Barstool Sportsbook. Who needs a bracket when you can just bet on all the action on the Barstool Sportsbook? It is the best place to start. Now offering 100 sign-up bonus for new users. Sign up today. That's today using code tourney. That's TOURNEY. Why? Because you can get $100. Go ahead and sign up right now. Just kidding. No, you can't, because you place a $10 bet and you can wager more on any college basketball bet. Win or lose, and you receive $100 in bonus cash. So I was right, and it rhymed. So there we go. So download and create an account today, and be sure to use the code tourney, TORNEY, to unlock your $100 in bonus cash. There's 2 incredible rounds are in the books. There were some shocking upsets, and it's only crazier. So make sure you sign up for an account, get your $100 bonus, but we will still have special bets and picks from Big Cat, Dave, and all the other great promos, parlay insurance, underdog insurance, and more. So download the Barstool Sportsbook and create an account today. To be sure to use code TOURNEY, that's TURNEY, to unlock your $100 in bonus cash. You must be 21 or older and plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's the ad. Go ahead.
Tonight we've got a brain freeze coming. So me and Elliot are
I love a brain freeze. Let's get through this last game, Kelly. I'm terrified of this Texas team, but I do like Xavier plus the 4. What do you like in this game before we get to NBA?
I need Texas to lose. Full disclosure, they're the most expensive team that was bought in the Calcutta. They lose, more money in the pool for me. That's going to be my handicap, and I'm not betting the game because, again, I've been terrible with the Big East, and Texas has been playing their asses off. I think the math looks about right, so there's no real edge, if you will, for me. Go Xavier.
So the mix is up. All right, now let's get to the NBA. I need locks. I need bets. Not locks from you, Kelly. Locks from Cheah. I know you don't like the L word, but
I already tweeted that. Good thing Cheah's a genius because otherwise I would just be like, really? Did we just drop L bombs on our show?
Yeah, of course I did. He's a guru. He's giving out locks. I threw out all of the terms. I'm surprised I didn't add crystal balls with money signs and like alert signs. That would have gotten and the gorillas. Need the gorillas for those gorilla plays. But all right, Cheah, what's been going on in the NBA? You guys fill me in. I've had my eyes glued to college basketball, and I need some winners. People need some winners. So go ahead. Let's start there. Cheah, we've let you be quiet. We need to hear that beautiful voice of yours. Go ahead. Speak up now and give out winners.
Tonight we're getting hot. 3 NBA picks in a row. Almost at a monster parlay yesterday. I might throw one of those out today with a first basket. There's one first basket that looks very appetizing, and it is Memphis against Dallas. So Memphis wins the jump ball like 72% of times. I think Dallas wins it like just over 35%. So there's a huge delta there. Desmond Bane has taken 4 of the last 5 first field goal attempts for the Grizzlies. John Morant's still out. They're saying conditioning now. His suspension, I think, is technically over, but they're keeping out one more game. This is a spot where I would hope Desmond Bane's going to get the first shot. I'm very confident in saying Memphis is going to win the tip, assuming Jaren Jackson plays. I know he's questionable earlier with a calf. Monitor that closer to game time, but if he plays, they're going to win the tip in all likelihood, in which case I like Desmond Bane to take the first shot, and hopefully he puts it down. Some good value also on Xavier Tillman. I think he was plus 7.
Speaking of Xavier, those are the signs. Play Xavier. Boom.
There you go. My official play today is Steph Curry over 4.5 threes. That's going to be in the brain freeze as well. The Rockets give out the most 3-point attempts, the most 3-point makes, also the most 3-point makes to point guards, which is what Steph Curry is. In his last 3 games against Houston, he's had 22 threes and hit 7, 7, and 8 in those 3 games. In his last 8 games against Houston, he's averaging 11 3-point attempts. He's taken at least 11 threes in each. He's averaging 14 3-point attempts. So he needs 5 tonight, which is a high number, but he's done that in 7 of his last 10 games. So I like this play a lot tonight. Steph Curry over 4.5 threes. I honestly like all Steph Curry's numbers. His rebounds over 5.5, his points over 29.5, his combined points, rebounds, and assists over 41.5. So I think all those are pretty strong plays tonight. If you're looking for not Steph Curry, I like Joel Embiid over 33.5 points against the Bulls. A sneaky play is actually Nikola Vucevic over 1.5 3-point makes. He's taken 7 threes in his last 3 games against Philly. He likes to kind of float out a bit more away from the paint where Embiid can't really guard him as well. So I think that has some pretty good value. Another one I'll throw out there is Quentin Grimes over 7.5 points against who are the next playing tonight?
So Brandon said
he set that number in like 65% of home games, I believe. So decent value there. So nice. those are my plays tonight. And
then the brain freeze, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about the brain freeze.
So the brain freeze is me and Elio. So Elio does 1 NHL pick every night. I have it. I'm not going to release it right now, so we get everyone on the boost.
Whoa! I thought that was the whole point. Is like we got to like our moment to shine, and we get to say, "Hey,
yeah, we don't have the odds yet. It's not out." So Elio was a little bit late submitting because there was some late breaking goalie news. So he got it in a couple hours ago. Hopefully, it is up in the next hour. Elio. hopefully in an hour, and we are live, but it is not yet live, but it is coming. So if you want to bet Steph Curry over 4.5 threes, go ahead. That is my pick, but it's also going to be parlayed with Elio's pick, and there's going to be a boost. I think independently, I think we both hit the last 3 nights. So if you played it, a lot of people parlay them together because we're both kind of unique as far as what we bet, and we get those a lot. So this is backed by popular demand. We did it 3 days only for the Massachusetts weekend. Very close, over 3 on all, but tonight we're getting cooking.
Do you rip your shirt off if you win? Is that part of the deal?
I want to get Cheah some of those freaking women's sunglasses that are like from like the gas station that are just some obnoxious shape and color.
Mr. Rice is one of a kind.
All right.
I know, but I feel like you need it. If you're gonna have a collab, you got to like lean into his insanity.
We got some stuff ready. We're getting a very nice produced video coming out soon, so
looking
forward to seeing it.
All right, Kelly. Now you give out some NBA for the day, so I can go ahead and tell you, and then tail my behind out of here.
I'm a little bit late to the party. This one was 7.5 when I bet it this morning. It's now 8.5, so I apologize, you guys. And of course, it was going to get bet up. The 76ers have just been red hot. They've won 8 straight. They've covered 4 straight. And guess what? The Bulls on the road are the Bulls on the road, and that's just full disclosure. They have been really frustrating. I kind of lean towards the under in this one too, Megan. I do expect to see a significant amount of defense, and that is treading lightly because it's the NBA. But at least from the Bulls side of things, 8.5 might be getting a little too steep. So keep in mind, just keep an eye on it. I did bet 7.5. And I know the whole world's going to be on the 76ers, and that's probably why I should have tweeted this out earlier. But Philadelphia is just bottom line. They're just the more superior team here. And I think that's what we're kind of having to go with after the All-Star break. Cheah, am I an idiot? Am I too late to the party for telling people to bet on the 76ers now that they have been red hot?
No, they've been good ever since Tyrese Maxey has been a starting lineup, and they are a much better team at home. I'm scared of the Bulls, though. The Pat Bev effect is real.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We got to root for our coworker.
I didn't say we're not rooting for our coworker, and he has had some really good moments for the Bulls. I grew up a Bulls fan, so I've really written them off pretty much over the last 20 years, but that's okay. I have started to get back into watching the NBA because it's just not a focus for me until pretty much like after All-Star break, unfortunately.
I think he had 14 points in a quarter the other night.
Ooh, I did miss that.
He was setting it off, but should be a fun game. They're also playing Philly on Wednesday, so it's like a home and home. That's always fun for prop bettors. So yeah, tonight I honestly don't pick the NBA games straight up, but I will live bet them. Follow Trust the Data. I'll put some of those out. I haven't actually kept track of the article, but we have hit some absolute bombs. I think I hit plus 750 the other night with Houston over New Orleans.
Yeah. All right, guys, just a reminder again, sign up today using code tourney. That's TORNEY. Then place a $10 or more cash wager on any college basketball bet. Win or lose, you receive $100 in bonus cash. So download and create an account today to be sure to use code tourney to unlock your $100 in bonus cash. Thank you all for coming and listening. We are got a couple of days of some lackadaisical basketball, whether it's the NIT or the CBI. Lots of crazy things happening, but we got all the bets here. Make sure you have liked and subscribed to the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube page so you can come back and watch this show, watch any other show you want, whether it's the Yak, Pick Central, Anus. It's all there. Maybe not the Anus on the Sportsbook, but you get everything. What I'm saying. Just make sure you watch all the content because it's great. Read blogs. Blogs have been great today. So go check those
the blogs today. Even I read a blog today, Megan.
Also, subscribe to the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube because that's where I'm putting out my daily picks.
Boom. And Cheah's doing it all himself. So
you're not doing them on your social media.
I messed up the edit.
So be patient with Cheah. All right, guys, we'll see you back here on Wednesday. We got special guest Rico Bosco coming in to support Alabama and all the bad that they do. Just kidding. I'm out of here. We'll see you guys. And I'm ending the broadcast right now. Hold on. It's now saying I pressed the button twice.